Welcome to SandCity Sports, to the business, folks.
Folks, we had a tragedy in the world of youth sports over the weekend as a Texas youth football coach was killed after a football game. Michael Hickman, coach of the DEA Dragons, a youth football program based in the Dallas metro area, was killed after being shot multiple times by an opposing coach after an altercation. The primary suspect in this killing is Yaqub Talib, who is the brother of Aqib Talib, who recently retired from the NFL after 5 Pro Bowl seasons. Yaqub turned himself into police on Monday, and Aqib Talib was at the football game on Sunday and appears to have a coaching role with his brother's team. Folks, this is an unspeakable tragedy, and there are no simple answers in terms of how we get here in the world of youth sports. But for me, looking at the scope of youth sports, particularly football in the state of Texas, I believe provides some context. As I see it, high school football in the state of Texas is the equivalent of Division I football in many other areas of the country. The point of fact is this, folks. They spent $50 million, we'll get the high school for you on the screen, to build a football stadium in the state of Texas and did not blink an eye. Folks, that $50 million total dwarfs the operating budget for entire school districts in many parts of the country. 30, 40, 50,000 people showing up to watch a high school football game, to see rising stars like Arch Manning or future stars like Kyler Murray and Matt Stafford. Now you bump up to the college level in the state of Texas, where head coaches are paid salaries of $75 to $100 million, and teams like the Texas Longhorns and the Texas A&M Aggies have no problem out-recruiting and outbidding other Power 5 schools for the best football recruits in America. And so if high school football in Texas mirrors Division I football, then college football in Texas most certainly mirrors the National Football League. So what does that therefore say about youth football in the state of Texas? To me, it says that youth football in the state of Texas is the equivalent of high-level varsity football in many other parts of the country. And what that represents in my mind is the professionalization of youth sports. Parents, community members, young people in the world of youth sports, it is not that serious. It is a tool, it is a component, it is an inspiration in your development, but it cannot usurp your education, socialization, and ultimately your understanding of who you are and what your place is in the world. These are the things that are most important, and we need to get back to this in the world of youth sports. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next time, folks.
Toward the end of the game, I hear there's a gentleman from the organization. He comes over and he's talking to the coach, and I hear the coach say, "Oh no, don't worry about it. We're gonna get him after the game." Oh.
And so you knew they were talking about you.
I had a feeling. I just couldn't believe it. I'm like, no. So then, at the end of the game, you hear the horn. This is where the video comes on. You hear the horn, and you see them making a beeline for me. Now, I'm just looking at the coach. That's my concentration. And as the coach walks up on me, I say, "Coach, don't walk up on me. Don't walk up on me." But as the coach is walking up on me, I can see the players running around, and the players were the ones to start swinging. So I'm blocking them because I'm thinking, I don't want to hit these kids. Until it got to a point where I knew what was going to happen. And once I realized what was going to happen, I had to defend myself. I started swinging. at one point it was survival. So I swung at one kid, hit another kid, and then it became a swarm. So then my survival instincts kick in as to don't pass out, make sure you have your wherewithal, and I kept thinking something's gonna happen. Either they're gonna stop or somebody's gonna help me out. Something's gotta happen. And when that happens, when they stopped, I jumped up, but then the blood was rushing from my ear, and my immediate thought was, if you go after somebody right now, you're gonna pass out with all this blood dripping from your ear. So I was like, you know what, I need to stop. And I just sat down on a chair. By that time, a couple of people had come around and they were handing me like papers and stuff to start, taking care of the damage. The person from the organization said, "You want me to call the police?" Yes, please call the police. So the police came and the ambulance came. Ambulance completed the bandaging, and I told the police everything that happened. The things that stood out the most here was it wasn't a crazy game. I didn't have to call technical fouls in this game.
Yeah.
I gave one warning to both coaches. They were arguing with each other.
Yeah.
Calm down, guys. There was no rut. It wasn't a game where I foresaw this, and I never met the coach before. I've never seen the players before. I've never reffed their game. What made you that mad to then get together after the game to come at me like that? I still haven't figured that out, and that's the part that kind of hurts me the most. Is it's still a game.
Yeah.